If you reside in a warm climate, you understand how crucial it is for your car's air conditioning system to be in working order. Regrettably, there are numerous components in the AC system, which increases the likelihood of a component failing. When the cool air blowing from your conditioning system is stopped, how can you determine if the AC compressor is the cause? Let's investigate. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. AC system blows warm air. On the list, this might seem like the obvious first option. If your air conditioning unit stops functioning, there are several things to watch out for, as this may indicate that the compressor isn't functioning properly. If the little light on the AC button on your car indicates that the air conditioning is on but you don't notice a change in temperature, there may be a problem with the compressor. Examining the power feed of your air conditioning compressor can help determine whether it is the cause of this problem. A 2-pin connector is typically found on the outside of the compressor body. There ought to be a live feed to the pump while the car is operating and the air conditioning is turned on. Compressor clutch is not moving. The pulleys in most AC compressors are made up of 2 parts. Without turning the axle into the compressor, the inner pulley will always spin when the engine is running. On this pulley, there is also an outer clutch that engages when the AC compressor is supposed to start. This clutch won't engage and turn the compressor axle if it has failed. However, this symptom can also be caused by a lack of electrical power, so a proper diagnosis is necessary. However, this is more indicative of a malfunctioning AC compressor clutch than a malfunctioning AC compressor. Nonetheless, you frequently need to replace the compressor if the AC compressor clutch is damaged. Most modern cars have variable AC compressors, which means they don't have this clutch and spin constantly. Noise from AC compressor. As you can imagine, the pump's internal components are working extremely hard to meet demand when the compressor's clutch is engaged. You'll typically start to hear a harsh grinding noise coming from the engine when the bearings and other metallic parts inside the compressor start to wear and become noisy. Try turning your air conditioning on and off and listening for any changes in the grinding noise to see if your compressor is the source of the noise. In the event that the noise ceases when the pump is turned off, your compressor needs to be replaced because the internal components have worn out. Burning rubber smell from the engine bay. When you try to turn on the air conditioning, if you smell burning rubber coming from the engine bay, it may indicate that the AC compressor is seized and that the serpentine belt will spin on the AC compressor pulley. However, if you have been experiencing this for a long time, there is probably something else wrong with your car. This will cause the serpentine belt to snap off rather quickly. Refrigerant leak. There are sensors in your car's air conditioning system that measure the amount of refrigerant in the pipes. Your lower pressure switch will sense a leak in one of these pipes and cut off the refrigerant to your car, preventing the compressor from running dry and causing damage. Since the components you're trying to inspect are often inaccessible, it can be challenging to locate a refrigerant leak on a car. But if you're searching for a leak, the compressor body itself is a good place to start. A compressor's seals may burst if it has started to overcompress the refrigerant as a result of an internal malfunction. This can lead to an accumulation of heat and pressure inside the compressor's body. The refrigerant will be released if the seals burst, which will cause your air conditioner to malfunction. Auxiliary drive belt excessively wearing. It could be worth checking the pulley on your air conditioning compressor if you recently had to replace your auxiliary drive belt and have noticed that the new one is wearing out quickly or making a squealing noise. The pulley on your compressor may run at different angles as a result of excessive bearing movement that occurs as the pulley wears out. The rubber auxiliary drive belt will frequently be snatched and grabbed by this movement, which will shorten its lifespan. A high-pitched squeal may also be produced by the excessive movement when the rubber belt rubs against the pulley that has become misaligned. Remove the auxiliary drive belt from the AC compressor and physically inspect the pulley for any excessive free play to see if this is the cause of your issue. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case, and replacing a worn pulley frequently necessitates replacing the compressor as well. Some compressors allow for pulley changes to be made without having to replace the entire unit. Replacement cost. The typical cost to replace an AC compressor ranges from $400 to $1,200, depending on the type of vehicle and labor costs. Labor costs $200 to $500, and an AC compressor costs between $200 and $700. The AC compressor is a complicated component, so purchasing a new one can be expensive. Depending on the model of the car, the labor costs for replacing the AC compressor alone are frequently about $100. Nevertheless, the AC system needs to be refilled following the replacement of the AC compressor, which typically costs $100 to $200. It is also necessary to perform a leak test on the AC system prior to refilling it, which can be labor-intensive and time-consuming. Hope the information was useful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.